Okay, let's talk about this complete disaster in my son's room. Now, it had not looked like this. I was having a really wonderful day processing 30 pounds of tomatoes, and there was a nightmare with one of our outlets. My husband was unable to fix it. It was something that happened in the bathroom. So my father-in-law came over to try to figure out the problem, and thankfully he did. But when I ran out to the farm to get some more things that I needed to make all of my pasta sauce, I came back and found this in his bedroom. Apparently, he had to go into the attic and take everything out of the attic, take everything out of the closet to get to the attic to actually fix the problem with the lights. Now, this is what I had woken up to around 6 a.m. to get all of my tomatoes processed to make pasta sauce, and then unfortunately, I ended up having to deal with the mess of the room. I honestly didn't even know where to start, so I just wanted to pick up some of the photo albums that were stored in the closet, get those out of the room, try to pick up any trash that I saw, and then my next plan was to work with some of the clothes and try to get those back into the closet. Now, all of the shelves had also been taken out of the closet, and I wasn't sure how to put them back together. So I had to just go in and try to figure out how to put them back together. This is a previous clip I wanted to show you guys of what the closet had looked like before when I had all of the games stored up there, and I actually ended up changing that a while back. I had seen a recent video with someone putting them into bags, and I really liked how it looked, and it just made a lot more sense. So that's what I did here. I just took them out of their boxes, put them all into bags with their labels, and then everything that was on that shelf fit into 2 boxes except for like 2 things that weren't not able to fit into the bags. But it just makes it a lot cleaner and a lot easier to look at, a lot easier to take out when you're going to take everything out, plus everything is contained in 2 small boxes. So now I'm just taking out the clothes that were on the bean bag and putting those back into the closet, and I can finally see the floor again. So just the way that life happened and everything else, it took me a couple of weeks to actually get the entire room finished. I had done all this in one day, and then I decided really just to change out his whole bed. The bed that he had was the one that my husband had when he was a kid, so it was just old and it was time to go. His mattresses were also old. They were from when he first got his bed. So I just wanted to order all that stuff. So it took a while for that to come in, and then actually for myself to have time to get in there and put it all back together. But it really felt good to finally get this room just back to normal and kind of like more age appropriate for him. So these were 2 baskets that I had in his closet before. Obviously you can see that they're brown. I wanted to spray paint them gray just to kind of match the room a little bit better. So this is after 1 coat, after 2 coats, and then you'll see the final coat here. It turned out pretty nice. I couldn't be in there cleaning and not actually clean underneath all the surfaces that I knew were going to be trashed. I know it should be his responsibility, but it's just easier sometimes if I go in there and just do a deep clean, and then he can keep on top of other things. I truly cannot believe how much easier it is to keep my house clean when we have less stuff. Now, obviously, there's still a lot of stuff in this room, but even by the end, you'll see that I got rid of so much. And every time I do these declutters, and even just like quick ones, going through and just emptying out some drawers, emptying out a few things here and there, it makes such a huge difference because in the past, I was never able to keep on top of my house. Like it always was a mess. I always felt like I was drowning in clutter and messes, and I just couldn't figure out why I wasn't able to keep up with it. And the reason was simply we have too much stuff. Like there's just no other way around it. You can't have that much stuff as I had and be able to keep it clean. I mean, maybe some people can, but I certainly couldn't. I felt like I was just on all of my days off from work, that's the only thing I would had to do was like clean, clean, clean. I'd go to work for a couple days, I'd come back and the house was completely trashed again. So I just cannot stress it enough. Like if you are struggling to keep your house clean and organized, just really try to minimize the amount of things that you have in the house because it's just unbelievable how much easier it is to keep things clean. Really getting under the bed again for I don't even know how many times I've had to do this, but just this time it just clicked like we just can't have stuff under the beds because it's not an easy thing to keep on top of all the time. Like unfortunately, my kids are not sweeping out under their beds every time they clean, and I'm not going to do it for them anymore. So I've decided that for the most part, nothing is going to be stored under the beds. So you'll see at the end here when his room is transformed, I do put one thing under there, and that's, for right now. I'm going to try to find another spot for it, but that's the only thing that's going under there. And my goal is to really just go through the rest of the house eventually and try to get everything out from under our beds and just not store anything because it's just too hard to keep clean and it gets dirty and dusty and gross. And you'll see I sent my son under the bed because I was not going under there to get everything that he had dropped under there. So I sent him under there to do it. And I think the dog thought there was something of his under there too, but he seemed super excited for some reason. Whenever I'm in the middle of a big decluttering day or cleaning day, I usually need a little pick-me-up by mid-afternoon, and Javy reached out to me and asked me to try their coffee, and I can tell you it is delicious. I love this stuff. In the middle of the day, I usually like a nice iced coffee. This can be mixed with either water, milk. I really enjoy the almond milk because it makes it very creamy. I add a little bit of cream, no added sugar, and it is so good and so easy to make. Another thing I was noticing, my husband was going out to get an iced coffee midday at work, and it was costing $6 to $7 per day. So I bought a bottle of this, sent it to work with him. He keeps it in the refrigerator, and then he can just quickly make up an iced coffee when he's at work. He doesn't have to spend the extra money. He doesn't have to make the trip. This stuff is so good. This is perfect. Now I can continue on decluttering, cleaning, and doing all other things that we have to do every day. So I will leave a link in the description if you'd like to try this out. It is so good. Also, you can make desserts with it. I'm going to leave a link in the description. You get a 20% discount if you use the link that I provide. They have original French vanilla, mocha, iced vanilla, caramel, decaf, so many different flavors if you want to try them all out. I did make a dessert. Unfortunately, this time it didn't come out as good as I had hoped, so I didn't even show it to you guys, but I have made a few desserts that they recommend, and most of them have come out really good. When my two youngest sons were younger, they both shared this room until we built our other son a room in the basement. But I just remember that we had so many toys and just so many things, toys and books and games and all this stuff that used to just be overflowing in the room. And telling them to go clean their room was just impossible. There was no way that they would have been able to keep it clean. So I would just suggest, if your kids are still younger and you have a lot of toys and it's just hard for the kids to get in there and clean the rooms themselves, just try putting away some of the toys in a different spot. Put them away where they can't take them out and play with them, and just kind of see how it feels to you and your family and see if that works better for you. I wish that I had done that when my kids were younger, because maybe I could have taught them, to clean up their rooms better. My oldest, who is an adult, he obviously takes care of his own room. And then even my youngest one, who's 11, he does really good with his room as well. But this one here, it's just a little harder to get him to get in there and clean. So I'm just really trying to keep stripping it down more and more. I've gotten rid of so much stuff in here. And really, he's pretty good when he gets in there to clean. He actually can keep it clean. It's just a matter of getting him to do it. But I know that each time I've done this, and there's just less and less, it's just so much easier for him to manage. And he enjoys having a clean room. All right, so this is what it looked like when I was done this day. And then, like I said, the rest of the video, you're going to see that I get back in there and kind of just move things around, freshen everything up. And, he ends up with a new bed and all that kind of stuff. But this is what it ended up looking like once I was done that day. I'm just going to get rid of these Legos. Unfortunately, there's like a bunch of stuff from the attic in them, so I'm just going to toss them and not even worry about it. This thing here he no longer wants. These are all the Nerf guns that I originally was going to try to sell. I'm just going to post them real quick on Facebook Marketplace. If they don't sell in a couple of days, I'm just going to donate them and not even worry about it again. That was the trash that came out of his room, that big bag there, and a lot of it's from the book bag that I cleared out. And then all that stuff was in the top of his closet. It's just some photo albums that I've been holding on to. I'm going to figure out a better way to go through those and just kind of condense it down and probably get rid of a lot of the duplicates in there. And those are the clothes that he wanted to get rid of. There's not a ton here, but several shirts and a pair of pants. So going through my son's socks in one of those baskets, these are all the socks that I found that we're going to keep for now. Plus I bought him, of course, some new ones for school, but that's plenty of socks. These are all socks that are perfectly good. They're not even that old. I'm just going to donate them, and then I'm just going to throw those away. So my husband had put the bed together this weekend when I was working, so I don't have any footage of that. You'll see in the previous clip of what was here before. It was just a really old bed frame. I think that actually my husband had. So we switched it out to just a plain metal bed frame, a full size, new mattress. We ended up getting one of the bed in the boxes, and he loves it. So here's what it looks like really quick. And then I think I'm going to try to put it in front of the window the other direction and kind of see how that looks. This big, huge bean bag. It is nice when he had friends over when they were smaller because they could just sleep on it. But now he really would like to get a couch in here at some point. So I'm just clearing this out to give myself a little bit more room. If you have two people, I would suggest trying to do this with two people if you're moving furniture around. Luckily, the bed is very easy to move. I'm probably going to add some felt to the bottom of it just to make it a little bit easier to slide around. But that's one thing that I really love about this frame is how easy it is to move, and it's going to be nice just to be able to sweep or vacuum underneath it on a more regular basis, keeping it clean. But definitely getting the rug back was a little challenging. I just took a couple of minutes here to wash down the wall where the bed usually was. Since it was a little bit dirty, I figured might as well take a couple minutes and just clean it off real quick. I am so excited to be getting rid of these curtains. I've always hated them. I really just never knew what to put up there. So I ended up going with the same curtains that I put over the closet, same curtain rods. I think it'll make everything come together a little more cohesively. And I'm trying to really just do that throughout the entire house. I've really just been trying to go a little bit at a time throughout the rooms and see what we can do to make things look a little nicer. So I'm just starting in here, and we're just going to keep going room by room, I guess. I have so been waiting for fall. It's probably my favorite time of the year. And unfortunately, we're in Massachusetts, and around this time of year, it's usually still kind of hot. But I mean, this week has been like almost 100 degrees. It's been incredibly humid out and just so gross. I'm just really hoping that the weather starts to cool down a bit. All right, here we are. The only thing that I'm waiting on is the curtains. I did order some long curtains for the windows, but besides that, I think we are done. It just looks a lot cleaner and fresher and a little bit older. You know, now that he's 14, it's nice just to have some more space in here. Like I said before, he does want to get a couch, maybe for that area there, for if he has a friend over, but we'll see. And then all I did was pick up all those cords in the back there. I'll show you a picture of what it looked like before. But I just kind of zip tied them all that way. It looks like a mess behind it, but at least looking at the TV, you don't see all of those cords just dangling there anymore. And then one thing that I did with the closet was I just added these curtains in front of his closet. We used to have doors there when we first moved in. Years ago, they got broken. So I wanted to add something so we just didn't have to look at the closet all the time. You know, it doesn't look perfect, and that's okay. Eventually, I would like to get rid of that box there. That's just like arts and crafts stuff. I am going to go through it at some point and get rid of that. But for now, I'm going to hold on to it. There's the baskets that I spray painted. They used to be brown. I just have his socks and underwear in there. There's the donation box. So when he finds things that don't fit, they go right into that box, and I can add them to my trips to the donation center. And then I ended up getting rid of all those photo albums up there, so we actually just have space in here. Here's the games. So I'm hoping he's going to be nice and surprised today when he comes home from school to see his new room. And that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see my other son's room, I just recently did that. I will link that here for you to watch next. See you later.